I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's do the ringing of the bell. So there we go. We've called the meeting to order. And next will be the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Craig, if I could ask you to lead us in the pledge.
Okay, if you could all stand, if you could, and join me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag,
to the flag of the United States of America,
United States of America,
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And last, but by no means least, the four-way test. And Craig, I'm going to ask, Craig, I just picked on you, didn't I? I actually meant Ron. I'm going to ask you to lead us in that.
Okay, of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third, will it build
Will it better friendships?
And fourth, will it be
Beneficial to all concerned.
And number 5,
Have
Have
fun.
fun.
There you go. Thank you, everyone. And thanks for amusing me through that process. I like doing the silly big bell and everything. So,
What was number 5, Craig?
have fun.
Oh,
Have fun.
okay. Thank you.
Which we try to do on a regular basis, and we'll talk about a project where we just had some fun. But first, let's go around and introduce our guests. Let's see. Ted, do you want to introduce Joy?
Yeah, so welcome again to Joy Bromst, who's joining us this morning from the Hanalei Club. And as we were gathering, I told some of you we may owe Joy a commission. She's recruiting member leads for our club lately. Haven't seen that he's joined us yet this morning, but Danny made a connection with a lead that Joy passed to us, and we hope to see him at a meeting soon. And I also saw online John Harder. And I've lost you on my screen.
Oh, he's right there, but that doesn't help.
Oh, there's John. Also joining us from the Hanalei Club to talk with us about an upcoming project that will involve a lot of Rotary folks from all over the end. Welcome.
And we also have Steve Mott. Steve, would you like to just give us a quickie? That's
sure. Aloha, aloha. It's about 10:36 in Carlsbad, California. And say hello to all of you. I saw that Danny was on the agenda for today, and I was interested in hearing a little bit about real estate on Kauai. We are not able to visit this year, unfortunately. So we're looking forward to next year and joining you up there on the shore.
You got the nice picture in the background, so
yes,
that will remind you of your other home. Welcome.
And thanks for the note about the agenda coming up.
Sure, sure. And Tex is here. Tex is joining us for the meetings. So welcome, Tex. And
Thank you.
We do have Waylon, who is one of our up and coming members. So welcome back. So let's read all of our visitors to the Great Big Rotary Club of Puerto Beach.
Aloha.
And I should also just mention Jan is here. She decided to take another spill. Yeah, what happened?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm a member of the E-Club of Hawaii. It's nice to see you all this morning. And yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, I fell and broke my ankle hiking, but this wasn't as dramatic. I tripped in a hole in our driveway and twisted my ankle. So. Rodney's taking good care of me.
There you go. So we're going to talk first Canvas. As Ms. Colon said, in our Q&A, if you ask questions, you can put those questions in the Q&A, and then we'll be able to respond to those. I have a tendency, I
Where are we?
get a little not
What?
loud, so I will be louder. Limit your questions to Canvas. Although
I don't know who
as
that
a
is.
parent,
Sorry.
I'm a father of a rising junior and a
Oh,
rising
you know
junior,
what?
we have lots of questions as parents.
That was me. The videos, once they complete, they go to the next video. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Tex asked, what was number 5 on our 4/5-way test? And number 5 is have fun. And we did a little bit of the having fun about a week and a half ago when we were up at Kuiolona and we did the painting project up there. And many thanks to the folks who were there. A lot of us were there. I hope you all saw the article in the Garden Island about it. Dennis wrote a very nice article, and actually he had some great photos too. So I thought that was really, really neat. I've got thank you letters to go out to Robert at Kuiolona, and also, I apologize, I'm forgetting his name. His name is Francis at the Ace Harbor in LA, because they also donated paint. And the other thing though that I want to talk to Robert about is looking at some other projects that we can do there. Because as those of you who were there saw when we looked around, there were a few other things that we could do. So we're going to look at some other things that we can do. But it was a good time, and thank you all for coming. I sent out photos of a pair of sunglasses, a screwdriver. I did not send out a picture of the step stool. The sunglasses have been claimed. The screwdriver and the step stool still up for grabs. So if anyone is missing a screwdriver, step stool, yeah. Mike.
My step stool.
Okay. Your step stool in our garage. It's safe. We'll get it to you at some point.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And the screwdriver, you know, I mean, let's be honest, it's a screwdriver. It's not that big a deal. But if it's your screwdriver and you want it back, let us know and we can get it back to you. But I am very happy we got to do that project.
With the step stool, I can always use an extra screwdriver.
Okay, we can do that. Do you need sunglasses? No, those are Audie's. But Audie did say he had another pair, so we can get them covered there. And we do, speaking of projects, we do have another project that we're looking at, and I will ask John to speak a little bit about this. The district has as a goal planting 1,000 trees throughout the state. And actually, I was talking to Naomi, our district governor. I was talking to her last night, and she said that over on Oahu, they planted a bunch of seedlings. And unfortunately, about half of the seedlings are no longer alive, but they have some time to either get some more seedlings going or potentially even look at getting some small trees to plant. But we have here on our island, John has been working with some other groups at the Makauwahi Cave Reserve here in Poipu Beach to get some trees planted there. So John, if you would like to tell us about that.
Am I on? Yeah.
You are.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Rick. Let me see if I can I get on share screen? Nope. Can you let me get on share screen, or I sent you an email? Maybe you can put the flyer up.
You should be able to share now. I turned it on. Working?
Where is it? Yeah.
Okay.
Does everybody see that? Wait, let me try another one. Oh, that's what we got. Yeah, anyway, I've been working with the Makauwahi Cave Reserve, 350.org Hawaii, and Rotary Hawaii. I'm getting going a tree planting effort here on Kauai. As Rick mentioned, this is kind of part of a district-wide effort to get 100,000 trees planted. I don't know if we're going to make it all this year, but we'll sure make 50,000 across the state by the end of this year. This project can involve restoring an old limestone quarry that was used during the sugar plantation days, and has never been restored. It's pretty much barren. So the goal is to return the area to native vegetation and at the same time sequester carbon and help fight against climate change. It should be a pretty simple project. The holes and the irrigation system will be prepared before the arrival, so all the volunteers have to do is pick up a tree and put it in a hole and pack it down with some soil amendments. So, and for every group of 10 people that we get out there, there'll be an experienced guide to help direct us what to do. So the one issue that has been brought up, I noticed it myself when I started this thing, it's on a Friday. And so that kind of makes it difficult for a lot of people. I commented on that to the Cave Reserve people. They'd already had it built in. I think it had to do with getting the holes dug and getting everything in place. And some issues with Rotary Hawaii that's trying to do a tree planting day on October 30th. So it is a Friday and it'll be a little bit difficult for some of us to make it. But I've already got a crew of about 8 or 10 people from the north and east side. I'm going to be talking more with Kapaa Rotary today, and then touching with the other clubs over the next week. We're also recruiting people from Sierra Club, Surf Rider, our own Climate Action Coalition. So we should easily have 50 people. In fact, we're kind of going to probably be turning people away. So in a sense, it'll be first come, first serve. So we are planning on doing more projects in the future. And so keep your name in mind if you can't make this one, and try to link you up with something as we get another project going. So that's pretty much it. It'll be Friday, October 30th from 8 to noon. If you contact me, I will get you out with the basic volunteer instructions. But the main thing is going to be wear hard-toed shoes, bring gloves. Unlike the two ladies in the picture, I would advise to wear a hat because it will be sunny and hot, and bring sunscreen. So if you've got, if you want to sign up, my email's there at the bottom, dumpdoctor@gmail.com. So contact me and I will get back to you with more details. Okay.
Hey Rick, can we have that or can we have that flyer sent out to the group?
Yeah, I sent one to Rick, so you could forward that out to the group. Did you get that?
I'm still muted. I will get that out later today. I do have it here, but I will get that sent out to everyone. That's a great idea, Jonathan. Thank you. And
Okay,
Jonathan, thanks for organizing
Send
this.
another one.
I had a question. I wasn't listening. Exactly where is the project going to be, please?
It's down at the Cave Reserve. For any of you that haven't been there, and since you guys are all from Poipu, I can't believe, but maybe there's some of the new people that haven't been there. They have daily guided tours or self-guided tours of the Cave Reserve. Though now during the virus, they kind of limited and they'd like you to make a reservation. But you can go online to the Makauwahi Cave Reserve and you get their contact information. But if you want to drive out there, you head down Poipu Road, past the Hyatt, past the golf course, and the road swings around to the right towards the stables. And just before you get to the stables, there's another road that goes off to the left. If you're interested in a little hike, right there at the Hyatt, just past the Hyatt, there's a beach access parking area. And you can park there, and there's a real nice trail, about a 15-20-minute hike along the coast. Lots of nice views, ends up at the cave. So even if you can't make the tree planting, I would recommend that all of you go out there.
Yeah, remember, I'm speaking from a decade of not being around almost. I remember there used to be a operation on the way to Makauwahi when I'd go down to Gillian's house to go surfing. And on the right, as you go down towards the Makauwahi access, there was a operation where they would be pulling dirt out, and there was a mine there. But then when you got to the Gillian's house, if you walked to the stream and then upstream, there was a path that led you to a cave that you could crawl through, and then it would open up to a
big sinkhole. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jimmy
was
Grant,
it.
I think JM's a member.
Is this project related to Makauwahi and that cave entrance from the beach side?
Yes, that is the cave reserve now. That portion of Makauwahi where the cave is, and then a little, I guess that's Mauka and South. I'm not sure.
Yes.
It's old row farmland that where they excavated a lot of dirt and a lot of limestone coral for building the road. So they have a fairly large piece of property, and other than the cave is kind of the focus there, and it's a good place to visit. But other than the cave, they're in the process of trying to restore it back to its natural condition.
Yeah, their mining operation was causing some cave-ins right down where people go inside the cave back in the day, and there was a big tree in the middle. Does anyone know what kind of tree that was in the cave?
I don't recall.
Yeah, it used to be a huge banyan tree.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
So
cut
you
it all
can,
down. They're only planting natives in there now.
Right.
yeah, so the banyan tree is not a native tree, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
But
They're not going to be planting in the cave.
okay.
They're going to be planting in some old limestone quarries that had been opened up and abandoned. So this is outside of the cave specifically, within the cave property, cave reserve property, but not within the cave itself.
Okay.
I think that's really key, is that this is not in the cave or the sinkhole area, but it is part of the cave reserve. And then as Jan
Yes.
said, the other part that I think is really neat here is they are only planting native species. So
Yes.
we're basically reforesting this area back to the way it was. For those of you who have never been to the cave is really cool. But the thing that I think is so amazing about it, there's a sandbar in there. And they've determined that that is some of the oldest sand in the world in this sandbar. And it's just some of the most virgin sand around. And, you know, I mean, it's right here, like John said. And John, you also answered one of my other questions, which was, do I have to hike in or can I drive in? So thank you for that, because yeah, the ability to drive in will be really key. And like John said, if you can make this, great. If you can't make this, we'll come up with something else that we can look at. There is this goal of planting trees throughout the state that the district has this year. Certainly, you can plant a tree in your own yard, but we can look at doing some tree planting potentially at Kukuyalono. We can look at doing some tree planting with Habitat, with the projects that we're going to look at doing there. So we've got some other opportunities coming up, but this is, there we go. Well, yeah. How does a bird poop out an entire tree, Ron? That's the question. That's a big bird. That is true. And they're canoe plants then, maybe. Ooh. But this is a great project, and thank you for setting this up.
Rick,
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that Subaru has a tree planting program that's in place. They give away the trees. They were in on, if you watch Spectrum Surf, you'll see whenever a kid has a wipeout in one of the contests, they do a tree planting icon. And maybe if someone knows someone in Subaru, we could somehow sponsor with them, and then we'll get all the trees we'd ever want. And who knows, maybe we get trees that are native trees and unusual trees that are more expensive by using the Subaru program.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you. Yeah, I actually sort of knew about that, but yeah, that will be a good thing to do. Yeah, we can look at that. I can see if I can find someone at Subaru around here and get going on.
So I'm kind of working with a couple groups. Like I said, Retreat Hawaii, and a couple of Rotary clubs on Oahu, and one on the Big Island that are doing some major tree plantings. And we are finding that there's a lot of projects going on, and we're trying to get together like a core to coordinate all of them, or at least get them all listed. So if you do have any information, like Tex was saying about Subaru, let me know, and I'll try to put it in a big file so we can all get it together. I know we did a breadfruit rooting project with Makauwahi, and essentially we went to air root a lot of breadfruit, ulu, and we'll be giving those away for people to take home. So there's a number of options. This one I just think is kind of unique because it's both at the cave, which is a unique place, and we're working with native plants. One thing, and I'll get more information out to people on this, but since they're going to be working with OHIA, they want people to make sure they clean their shoes before they come in. Make sure we're not spreading any OHIA disease, which is kind of rampant in the state right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
One other thing, as far as a native resource, Branch Harmony is a dear friend, and years ago I kept calling it Mahalapu, and he corrected me. He's been down there since he was 5 years old. He's, as you may know, Branch used to be at KUAI. He's in Facebook as Zachariah Harmony, and he's with it. He's 100% these days, and he's a real resource that crosses the line between Hanalei and local. And I don't know who knows Branch, but I think it'd be wonderful if you maybe get him involved with this. Anything to do with Mahalapu is very close to his heart, and maybe the club.
Yeah, yeah, or even as a speaker, because we always appreciate hearing from.
Well, I'm not in the club, so I can't invite anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can do that on your behalf. So thanks.
Okay.
All righty, let's do some happy bucks. Who is happy?
I got one to start with.
Yeah.
It just also happens to be my anniversary, my wedding anniversary, my 53rd. 51 of those have been here on Kauai. So I want to give 10 happy bucks. So I'm not sure how I get it to you guys. If I can't get it to you before the 30th, I'm sure somebody from the club will be at the pre-planning. I'll give it to them then. But there's some way of mailing it off to you, or
there is a link in the chat window for our Donate Now button on our website, and you can just do it right through that, and we know what it's all about. Oh, thanks. So you can use the donate, and anyone can do this. You can use the Donate Now button up there to make your happy bucks donation. Who else might be happy?
I'm happy. So I'm actually happy for myself, happy for my wife. We were able to spend 4 days, 3 nights there in on the North Shore. We were lucky and happy to have a beautiful room, ocean view at the cliffs, and a little commercial there for locals. There have a special there now for $200 a night.
Oh.
No cleaning fee if you go through the their own switchboard there at the cliffs. And yeah, it was beautiful. The room was beautiful, and best of all, I was able to watch golf.
Very cool. Okay.
And I think we should sing happy belated birthday to Jan.
Is she there? There
She's
she
not
is.
there?
You've gone away. Okay, let's all sing happy birthday to Jan. So unmute.
Happy
birthday
to
you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Jan. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. It's my Medicare 65 Medicare birthday. Woo.
Hey. Unfortunately, Zoom, we've hit the limits of Zoom concurrency, I think, with that one.
I think we need a metronome, is what we need, a Zoom metronome.
Yeah. Well, you could just do this, Tom. You could just. Tom, you have an announcement I saw. If you want to just talk about your.
I do?
Yeah. If you just want to bring that up, so in case people don't see it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yes, I put it in the chat. Yes, the announcement is that Angelique Pereira, who's taught second grade at Kaloa School for years, has moved up to the 5th grade, and I'm very disappointed because I've always enjoyed reading to her classes. But so she is trying to do a little fundraising for a new iPad so she can better teach her students using distance learning. She describes it more in the donation on Donors Choose. Earlier this year, she had also gotten some acrylic boxes for students who would be in class. So I would really recommend it. She's terrific. She's trying to upgrade her. I think she's got a very old iPad, and the school district is not forthcoming, obviously, because I'm sure the funding right now for Kaloa School has been dramatically reduced, or will be anyway. So follow the link that's in the chat and help her out. She's just you're looking for, I think she needs another $200 and something. I'll be donating obviously into that as well. So please help her out. I am happy today though, because actually I've been happy for the last 2 weeks, given that it's mango season and I've got my mangoes have been going off and I've just thoroughly enjoyed them. That's one of the things I love about being on this island and having the property I have, because we get all this great fruit, and somebody else had brought in some just outstanding avocados and so on. And it's just I thank whatever for the great fruit that we have here, because the mangoes are just something else you just can't get on the mainland or anywhere else, to be honest.
Yeah. And you said that's $1 per mango, right?
It's $1 per mango.
Cool. Anyone else happy or announcements? We can do those. We can combine them. Yeah, Joy. Joy, go ahead.
Sorry, can't see my own screen. Thank you so much. Hey, that's awesome that the teachers doing Donors Choose. Bill Gates, the Gates Foundation is matching any funding for Donors Choose right now. So whatever she gets as far as monies, the Gates Foundation actually matches that during the COVID year. So that's super exciting for that teacher. So yeah, I'm really happy. I was going to give 20, but I'm going to steal 10 of that towards that teacher and Donors Choose. So 10 to the club, and I'll make sure I get $10 to that teacher at Kaloa. That's super exciting. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. And we can actually see your eyes now. That's kind of nice. All right. Anything else? Yes, Theodore.
10 happy bucks I'll throw in. One, just because I'm happy that our Hanalei colleagues have joined us today, and the opportunity to collaborate with them on projects. And you'll remember Joy brought the speakers about Aloha books to us a couple weeks ago, and we'll be talking about that at our board meeting next week of how we want to proceed ahead and work together on supporting that project. And of course, John and the tree planting. And then I also, I'm just really happy that we were able to do our painting project at Kukui Alono and that we had such a great turnout. That was a lot of fun to hang out together for the day in person for a change. And I want to say special thanks to Craig and Claude and Rodney for organizing us, because they did a lot of work to make it easy for the rest of us to have a fun day. So thanks.
Yeah.
And one announcement is to save the date on your calendar for Saturday morning, October 24th. Who knows what October 24th is?
World
You
Polio,
long-term
World
Rotarians
Polio
should-
Day. Yeah.
World Polio Day. So for our newer Rotary members, polio is a global initiative of Rotary International that was started more than 30 years ago, that Rotary committed through our global network of clubs to eradicate polio from the planet. And we still partner with the Gates Foundation, who matches all of our contributions $2 for $1. And on the 24th, our district will be having an online virtual event at 10 a.m. in the morning. There'll be some entertainment and some fun. There's going to be an online auction. They're going to sell t-shirts. So hold Saturday morning, the 24th. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Also, just one quick thing about polio. That week, we're going to have some speakers at our club who are polio survivors to talk about that as well. Thanks.
Rick, I as a polio survivor myself, I had it in the spring of '52, 6 months before the vaccine. I think this is a very unique opportunity at this COVID moment to put forth some positive about vaccination in general before the COVID vaccine comes rolling out. And polio has been almost eradicated by live virus vaccine. After HIV, it was switched to a killed virus vaccine, but I think the public understands how polio vaccine worked, and every infant gets it as part of their initial series. And I think that our representing the polio indirectly benefits the anti-vaxxer propaganda problem in regards to COVID.
Yeah, I think looking at the possibility of a vaccine coming out for COVID, it is an opportunity. And this has been a big push for Rotary with the polio vaccine. So it's a good tie-in for that. And hopefully y'all saw that just recently, the entire continent of Africa was deemed to be polio-free, which is a pretty major accomplishment. So there's polio currently, I believe it's just in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And so we have just a little bit more to go. It will be the second disease ever eradicated from the planet. I recall, Jonathan, I remember showing you my vaccination mark that I have on my arm, and you were like, what the heck is that? And that's from my smallpox vaccine that you did not need to get. And it's kind of awesome that people don't need to get that anymore, because that disease has been wiped off the planet. So fantastic. Any other announcements or happiness or anything like that? Well, I'm going to go with a happy because kind of following off of what Ted said, I was so glad we got to do the project at Kukui Alono. As some of you know, it's something we've been planning for quite some time. We hadn't planned to do it, I believe it was in March. And of course, things got kind of thrown up in the air at that point. But it was great to actually get together. We were able to do socially distanced painting. We were able to do all those things. We also had a little bit of just fun, sitting around and talking and hanging out. And it was quite a pleasant experience. Jonathan's iPhone raised his hand.
I'm happy. We also took a vacation to the North Shore, and then later we stayed in some cabins up in Kokay.
Oh, nice.
So it was really nice just to get away and not have cell reception and kind of be away from everything. So yeah, so I'm $5 happy, and I'll add that to my tab.
Very cool. Thanks. All right. Well, one of the things that we do here at Rotary is when we have new members that join our club, we like to hear a little bit about them, a little bit about what they do, and what their interests are and everything. And we are going to hear from one of our newer members. Notice she's not even our newest member anymore, but a newer member in Dani. And Dani joined the club. She was a referral through Jonathan, so thank you for that. And I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Dani.
Well, thank you, Rick. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
All right, good. So first, I really want to thank Jonathan for introducing me to Rotary, and thank each of you for your warm welcome. It's been really fun getting to know you through working on the highway and painting up at Kukui'olono. I started just before COVID, so not a lot of, don't know everybody really well yet, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you more. And also thank you very much, Ted, for extending the opportunity to introduce myself and a little bit about how I got into my line of work. So I'm a new realtor, not only new to Rotary, but also new to real estate. And I work with Coldwell Banker Island Properties. So any of you old timers who have been here on the island for a while may remember them as Makauwahi Properties. They were acquired about 18 months ago by Island Properties. I had joined with Makauwahi Properties and then was acquired into the Island Properties team. So I got into the business when I was very young. On the mainland, when I was 5, I started painting signs for my dad. And then when I was about 10, I started doing data entry for him, and then worked my way through his company, his brokerage there in Washington State. I worked with him and his agents. He oversaw about 200 agents there in the greater Tacoma area. And through high school and during the summers, I did that with him. I wasn't a licensed agent at the time, but I got a good basic background in marketing, contracts, and the finer details of business. However, when I graduated college, I decided to take a different route, and I studied fashion design and opened my own small pattern making and custom sewing business, which I ran out of my home while I was raising our children. We have 4 children. The oldest is married and in Ohio. The youngest is a senior in high school at Kauai High. I also have a master's in education, and I taught costume design and construction at the university, a small university on Oahu, before we moved here to Kauai. So over the last 26 years, I've dabbled in real estate as a landlord and rehabbing a couple of houses in California and Washington. And I moved a crazy 20 times over 26 years. So when we moved here and decided we weren't going to move again, I figured it was a good time to retire from design and finally follow in my father's footsteps and help other people move instead. So because of my early training and my years of dabbling, I was able to quickly meet the education requirements and pass the licensing exam here to get my real estate license. That's usually a bit of a process for people. People typically, I hear that the fail rate for the licensing exam is about 50%. So I'm really grateful for my background with my dad. That really helped me boost in really quick. Within 10 weeks, I had taken all the classes, got the licensing, and started within 10 weeks of arriving here on island. So I really love my work. My first year in real estate, I was named Coldwell Banker Island Property Kauai's Rookie of the Year. I was ranked number 8 in our brokerage here on the island. I earned the International Sterling Society designation from Coldwell Banker, and I made the top 100 realtors on Kauai. So for some perspective, there were over 500 active agents on Kauai last year. So in my first year, I was in the top 20%. This year, I'm on track to surpass that. I am the Kauai Board of Realtors Public Relations Committee Chair, and I'm on the Hawaii Board of Realtors PR Committee. And in a couple of weeks, I celebrate my 2nd anniversary as a real estate agent. So some of the things I really love about my work is I love working with first-time home buyers and first-time investors who are taking steps towards a big dream. I love helping them achieve that big dream and working with them. I'm a patient person. I'm a past teacher, so I don't mind taking the time to coach people through. That's just super rewarding to me. I also really love finding and marketing the unique beauty and features of each house that help it sell. So anything from a really, a $500,000 house out in Kekaha to a $2 million property. I love being able to help my sellers find what's unique about their property. I am one of those crazy people who also really loves contracts. I kind of like paperwork, and despite what TV will tell you that most of realtors' work is showing houses, really the majority of the work is paperwork, and I don't mind that one bit. I like the thrill of negotiating a good deal. It can be stressful sometimes, but I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I am also an avid surfer and like doing some crazy things. So that anxiety and stress of negotiations is kind of fun for me. I really love the puzzle of the deal, finding solutions to each problem and finding solutions that are in the interest of all parties. So I feel like this last year, I guess just a little bit more about why I chose to go into real estate, and then I think I'll open up for some questions that you might have about real estate. I feel I owe a lot of my success to 3 things. So when people ask me what's helped you this first year really do well, first of all, luck. I think I've got really lucky this year. Second of all, from all of my moves all over the West Coast, I have a lot of friends and friends who are interested in Hawaii and Kauai. And referrals are a huge part of my business plan. And so I'm really grateful for my friends who have supported me in my business. And also hard work. I am willing to do whatever it is that my clients need. I've done everything from run garage sales to cleaning their houses, helping them find professionals. I really go all out. I concentrate on being a full service agent, hiring top-notch photographers, staging, whatever's needed for each property. So not every one of my clients always takes my advice, but those that do, you may have noticed this last month I had 2 big sales in Kekalamakai, both of which sold really quickly thanks to staging and excellent photography, and I was glad to have cooperative clients. I also really make myself available for my clients at all time. That's really important in real estate. We don't work on a schedule. We work on our client's schedule. So weekends, night times, holidays, I make myself available for that. I really like to focus on being excellent, honest, and a full service agent, and I earn every bit of my commission. Some people think that real estate agents make a whole lot, but on island here, the median income for a real estate agent is about $50,000 a year, which is about the same as a teacher. So I've done a little bit better than that this year, but I am willing to work hard for my commission. I put in about 60 to 80 hours a week well, not every week, but mini weeks are about 60 to 80 hours. So that's a little bit about me. I get a lot of questions about the state of the market and how the pandemic is affecting real estate. So I can give you a brief rundown on that if you want, or answer any questions you might have about the industry or how one starts out, or anything really. So I'm going to open it up to what questions you might have.
Why did you have to move so much?
Why did we have to move so much? Because we're a little bit crazy. So my husband, for his job, we've moved 5 times. So from city to city, and then in each city, we've moved on average about 4 times each time, just moving from different houses that we bought or were renting at the time. So it's because we can't stay still. I'm addicted to moving.
Please stay still
I have a comment.
or stay in the area.
Yes, yeah.
I have a comment about, in general, appreciation for realtors. For one, appreciated Mike for Mike Curtis for helping us through our situation that we had of trying to sell our house to my brother. Thank you, Mike. Also for realtors, actually passing on work to me. So I've got a real good appreciation to your realtors. And good luck, Dani.
Thank you. So I think I saw Joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I had a quick question. Wow, you're a great public speaker, and you have a lot to offer people. Have you thought about mentoring or doing other types of speaking, especially to the youth here on Kauai? Or have you done that already?
I have worked in the schools, both volunteering and for off and on I would do substitute teaching and stuff like that. I do enjoy speaking when I have opportunities to. I wouldn't mind mentoring people.
Sure. Could I get your email? Because maybe I could hook you up with Margie Bennett. She does a lot of finance talk, and your 3 things: luck, network, and hard work, all wrapped around perseverance, is key to a successful life, as you know yourself now. So I would love to. I know you're super busy, but just a little bit of your time to help the youth on Kauai would be fantastic.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
My email address is Dani, D-A-N-I, .Dooley, D-O-O-L-E-Y, at islandproperties.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, DaniDooley.KauaiRealtor. I'm on Facebook. You can call me.
Well, I'll find you there.
Actually, you can just Google Dani Dooley, Kauai, and I pop up. So.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I got one, Dani.
Yeah.
So Tex Spears can relate two things. First of all, there is a Surfers Rotarian Fellowship that I'll send you information. So you can get involved with that and check it out. And second question, you do shortboard or longboard surfing?
I'm a longboarder. I did shortboard for a while, and after an injury, I had to say goodbye to shortboarding. So I have to take it easy and longboard now.
Very good. Thank you.
Are you a surfer as well, Craig?
Yeah, lifetime surfer, doing more stand-up paddle surfing these days.
All right. And your favorite break?
Pacalas when it's not crowded.
Oh, yeah. The only place I've seen a shark here on island.
Hey, Dani, I have a question. You mentioned that you're willing to talk to us about the current real estate market on Kauai. I'd like to hear a little bit about that. Thank you.
Okay. So current real estate market has really been affected by the pandemic, and we've seen some interesting things happen. Typically, our condos sell at a pretty good rate, and those have really slowed down. And typically our $1 to $2 million residential is slow, and those have really sped up. So that flip kind of in the market has been an interesting one in the last few months that we owe to a lot of our mainland investors. Well, not even investors, because they were investors and they're converting into residents. They're buying homes to move here and stay with their families. So let's see, this year I've had about half of my production has been people coming from the mainland, moving their families here because of the pandemic. They've been tech or workers that can work from home. So they're not reliant on local jobs, and they want houses that are comparable to what they're used to in Seattle, LA, San Francisco. And so they're not at all shocked by the price tag of the $1 to $2 million range. We have the mortgage rates that are really spurring people to keep on going towards continuing to buy. Of course, we don't have as many people looking right now, but we also don't have the same inventory that we usually do either. So it's still kind of balancing it out for everything else except for the vacation rental condos, which are slow. So because of that, with everything else having similar demand and supply, equal balanced demand and supply, we're still seeing prices go up on our houses. Kapa'a and the Kaloa district have been super strong, not compared year over year, but compared to where we thought it would be. They've been really strong, and really the places that people are looking. Poipu, we're starting to see a little bit of softening in our condos, which is kind of sad. We have people who are starting to get to the point where their mortgage forbearances are expiring. They're going to start running out of their savings that they've been using to, they've been using their savings to pay for their HOA fees, which were still due. They couldn't get forbearance on that. And so as that runs out, we expect to see here into the winter some of our prices dropping. We've already started to see that on some of our units where people are just getting desperate to sell. So they're selling at low prices. I have a good pool of investors, and I'm sure that Jonathan and Ann do also, that are just sitting and waiting for the fall and ready to swoop in. It makes me a little bit sad if any of those sellers are local and needing to leave. But so far, they seem to be investors, swapping investor for investor type of a deal. Let's see. Any other specifics
Tell us
you'd
about
like
the
to know?
Kalaheo area. A lot of us live here.
The Kalaheo area. Well, Kekelamakai's been on fire. Kalaheo's been going strong. I have some clients who keep on putting an offer in on properties, and they get swooped out from underneath them at every turn. So we have a lot of properties going under contract right now. Pretty much as soon as they're listed, if they're listed at a good price, if the seller is being reasonable in their pricing strategy, then those houses are going quickly, which is what we've been seeing really for years in Kalaheo anyways. It just seems like the anxiety and stress of the pandemic and people feeling like they need to move is like really emphasizing that need to move fast.
Dani, I have a question. Is the COVID relief that's inevitably going to run out somewhere after the election, and secondary troubles with finances, is that, in your mind, a potential cause for a 2008 like bubble bursting, and there be more inventory on the market and opportunities like there was in 2009 and 2010?
I think it's going to be different. 2008, you know, I wasn't doing real estate in 2008, but I was trying to sell a house in 2008 that I was underwater in. And the difference then was that the interest rates were a lot higher, and the structure of the mortgage industry was different. So we've changed a lot of that through regulations over the last few years. Really at that time, we were also seeing that we were getting to a high. We kind of felt that in the whole economy. And here in the last few years, we haven't really seen that we're starting to come to a tipping point. We have a pretty good progression. So I don't think it's going to be exactly the same. I think we will see a few people that get desperate and need to sell, especially those investors who were dependent on vacation rental income, who had to keep making payments or ran out of forbearance. They're going to be in trouble in a few months if they didn't have the savings necessary. I always advise all my clients that they need to have a good solid savings behind their vacation rental properties. Don't max out on mortgages. You stretch a little bit for your own home maybe. Don't stretch too much for an investment property. Buy it with cash if you can.
All right.
Danny, do you work as a seller's agent? Do you ever work as a seller's agent instead of a buyer's agent instead of a seller's agent?
Yes, I do both.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Danny. As Joyce said, you are very well spoken. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I always like learning someone who moved more than I may have. My parents will tell you when I was in college, trying to keep track of where the heck I was living was a bit of a challenge sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully we are all settled here for a while, and I think we're in a nice spot here. So and yeah, the insight into the market is always much appreciated. Any final questions or comments before we wrap up for the day? Alrighty then. Everyone go out, have a wonderful day, and we will do this again next week. Thanks.
You.
Aloha.